I'm going to go to that story later. And people are going, wow, this has links to the Washington Post in 2007 with 6 of the 10 commission members admitting there was a cover-up and that they wanted a criminal investigation of the Pentagon and White House. Wow, this has links to FBI translators saying that Al-Qaeda was taking orders from the CIA up until the day of 9/11. Wow. And just these 20 points that are irrefutable. Why we're saying investigate 9/11. I mean, the government staged Gulf of Tonkin to get us into Vietnam, attacked our ships and made it up that the Vietnamese did. They've staged all these other attacks. Northwoods is in ABC News. U.S. government plan to bomb cities, hijack jets by remote control. I mean, you start going through the evidence, but they never want to address that. That's coming up. I want to get to everybody else's call, though. Mike in Florida, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, Alex. How you doing today?
Good.
One of the things about the health care that I'm really so afraid of is that things that have happened in the last couple of months. I mean, Verichip has partnered with receptors to develop capabilities in their chip to detect swine flu.
Yeah, no, for those that don't know, Verichip, there is a section in the bill, we've gone over it, that talks about the Fed's funding radio frequency ID chips implanted in people. And the Mexican government's made the Justice Department people take them. Other governments are having people take them. They really are pushing this to the school kids, to the U.S. military. It really is happening.
And then just recently on September 8th, Verichip acquired Steel Vault, which is an ID theft company. And now the new company will be called Positive ID. That was just announced on September 8th. So, I mean, what I'm afraid of, Alex, is, they're going to use through the Obamacare force us to get chipped.
Well, I don't think they're that far along now, but I appreciate your call. They're using the fear and the fear-mongering over this hysteria over the swine flu. When regular flu kills 36,000 plus people a year, this has only killed a few thousand in the U.S. It's not even up to that yet. It's not even up to 1,000 yet. It's like 4,000 worldwide, 500 and something a week ago. The numbers are always growing. But you can pull up flu deaths if you want to see the numbers. Just Google it or startpage.com, another good search engine. And they're just using it to put their federal forces in place, to put their police state in place, to train everybody to go under federal control, to get everybody used to hearing about forced inoculations and quarantines and mass graves and lockdowns of cities and federalization of local police. That's what's going on right now. We're going to go to break in a moment. We're going to come back and hurry through your calls to Mike, Revo, Mark, Bob, Tommy, Andrew, and others. Toll-free number to join us, 888-201-2244. Each caller, I'd love to hear from all of you, but I want to get to everybody. You get about 1 minute apiece. I'm going to try to have a short answer or short statement to whatever it is you say. Does it outrage you that the mainstream media is saying a couple thousand people are in D.C. when foreign media is saying 2 million and the raw video shows probably more than 2 million? Is this why the mainstream media is dying? Is this why they have no credibility?
Do you understand how dark it is? How far down the line we are? How late it is?
Look at the Urban Dictionary online. It's quite popular. And they have a definition here. Teabagger, a whining fool shouting loudly for liberty but not willing to pay the bill. No, liberty is we don't want a big federal government that runs every facet of our lives and turns all our local governments into little secret police arms. Now, remember over a month ago, I got on air and I said, Republicans and Democrats, if they're for NAFTA, if they're for GATT, if they're for the wars, if they're for higher taxes, if they're for the police state, Governor Rick Perry, Senator Cornyn right here in Austin getting booed at every event they go to, that was on the news locally. Democrats all over the country, I was seeing the YouTube videos 4, 5, 6 months ago being booed off the stage, and I said there's a revolution starting, a peaceful resistance. And then a month ago, the media started saying, starting with Lloyd Doggett here in Austin, oh, those were paid lobbyists that came to a local Randall's grocery store. It was all staged. But my neighbor happened to just be there grocery shopping and saw it and said, no, it wasn't staged. They all said, including his constituents he'd mailed letters to, that they didn't want government-run health care. And so he said, I'm going to leave. And then they booed him. So the media has gone from saying it's all staged to using sexually derogatory terms against these diverse crowds. Black people, Hispanics, white people, conservatives, libertarians, Democrats that know Obama's a liar. But the media is trying to balkanize people and then lying and saying there was a few thousand people in D.C. when there were at least 2 million, according to the foreign press in the video. So does this anger you? And is this going to discredit the mainstream media even further? Can you believe anything they write and say? Revo76 is what he hails by, calling from New York City, NYC. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Alex, thank you for taking my call, sir. Thank you. The news media is horrible, makes me sick. I can't even watch it anymore. I can't stand Glenn Beck. He's fake. Obviously, everybody knows that. Well, not everybody. Can't believe they were rooting for him at one of the Tea Party in D.C.
Well, the media is going to show that to make it a polarizing issue.
Of course, without a doubt. Great job with Charlie Sheen. I was a little hesitant at first when I first read the thing, but I found out, went through it, and I seen the fine print at the bottom. Very well done. The video is great. The new documentary that's coming out looks awesome. Cola Blue works beautiful. And it looks like the government is going to have the swine flu shots ready for the first week of October. Raw Story's got a story up today. So
that's right. In fact, that's in my stack. And we're going to talk about next hour some in the last 30 minutes, not just Sheen and his big 9/11 story breaking on this show, but also the latest flu developments. Anything else, Revo?
Godspeed to you and your family, sir.
Sure. Thank you. You too. Look, going back to Monday and my special announcement in that YouTube video that went viral, I said in the video, the big announcement starts Tuesday and runs through the next several weeks. His letter to the president in the form of a discussion he wanted to have with him was only the kickoff of the ball game. We're only at halftime right now. Next week, Sheen's back on. There'll be more big announcements. I'm just going to leave it at that. I'll recap the chronological order of what happened and more of our battle plan in the next hour. But it's obvious every caller's bringing this up, so I'll just mention it now. The big announcement was that Sheen was going to ask for the president to meet with him and the victims' family members that Sheen is friends with, like Bob McIlvaine and others who lost his son Joey, Bill Doyle lost his son Joey in the towers. That's what the big issue was, and that he's calling out the debunkers to a debate live on TV, Larry King Live or whatever. I mean, Reuters picked that up, his call for a debate. And that video is also viral right now. He's challenging him. In fact, we should go to the Alex Jones channel on YouTube later and cue that video up for next hour where Charlie Hartman issues the challenge. So that's coming up. So that's what this was about, was not just letting the controlled corporate press and the military-industrial complex that clearly staged 9/11, being able to fearmonger, use 9/11 to expand more wars. First they say Iraq did it, and now Pakistan, and it's just an excuse for this militaristic imperialism. Simple, that we pay for, and that demonizes America's name. And so that's the larger program. And some of the media and people that are jealous and stuff, and the alternative media tried to spin it that my big announcement was just the Sheen letter. That's classic straw man. In my video, in my announcements on the radio, I said it starts Tuesday. And it goes for several weeks. You've only seen the first phase. And look at it. Hundreds of newspapers, Fox News, MSNBC, ABC News, Limbaugh, hundreds of news publications, Reuters, Houston Chronicle, Times of London, London Telegraph, French news, Japanese news, German TV, Latin American TV. That was the whole point. Let's go to Mark in Wisconsin. Mark, you're on the air. Welcome.
Hi, Alex. Good to be here. I'm with We Are Change Oshkosh. First, I'd like to say good for Charlie Sheen. Hopefully this letter does add growth to our movement. As far as the downplaying...
Hold on. Hopefully it does? Tens of millions of people conservatively have now read the key 20 bullet points and are waking up en masse.
If that's the case, then I'm glad you know the numbers on it, and that's definitely a positive.
Go to Google Trends and type in the name Alex Jones or type in the name 9/11 Truth and look at all the past years. This is the biggest year for 9/11 Truth because of what Charlie did and because of what the listeners did getting the word out about the story.
Well, like I said, that's definitely a positive. I'm glad it's had quite an effect. I haven't been able to check the numbers on it.
Well, hey, we'll do it for you right now. Guys, go to Google Trends. Just Google Google Trends, and the Google Trends page will come up, and type Alex Jones 9/11 or 9/11 Truth in, and then we'll show you. It goes back over 5 years. A record spike, double anything previously for people searching 9/11 Truth, 9/11 Conspiracy.
That's huge.
It's huge, yeah. Mission successful.
Well, let's see. I just want to continue here because I know you're going to try to go to a lot of people. As far as the downplaying of the protests against Obama and the mainstream media, by the mainstream media, that's no surprise, I guess. They've been doing stuff like that forever. With Junior, Bush, it got worse, and now under Obama, it's horrendous. But we can't, allow that to put a damper on our goals, things like that. We have to just continue to expose them for every dirty, underhanded tactic that they pull like that, and make sure the truth continues to come out. And that way we're always going to be on the right side of history and the right side of the truth. And InfoWars and We Are Change will just have to continue to thrive.